Welcome. This is the Academy of Adoption and Assisted Reproduction Attorneys, and this is our state series. And today in this video, you've got our fellows from the state of Wisconsin. We've already introduced you to our fellows and told you how amazing they are, but you need to meet the individual fellows from Wisconsin. If that's a state you're looking at, these are the people you want to go to and ask more questions of. So Emily, today, tell us about yourself.
I'm Emily Dudak-Leiter. I practice in Madison, Wisconsin at the Law Center for Children and Families. I'm actually, I was the baby attorney raised by Lynn Bodie beneath me, but now I've been practicing for 16 years in assisted reproduction. I can add some immigration to a lot of my surrogacy practice, doing incoming and outgoing surrogacies because I do have that background. I love being in Quad A. It's a great opportunity to not only make friends, but to really be able to access interstate resources and intrastate resources, and know that the other person on the email or the phone is highly vetted, completely qualified, and willing to take my call. Personal, we're supposed to say something personal. Yoga, dogs, love both of those. And just absolutely love my job.
Great. Stephen, tell us about yourself.
Okay, my name is Steve Hayes. I think I probably had the first surrogacy case in Wisconsin back in the mid-90s. In fact, the other attorneys that was a guardian ad litem in the case was a partner of Emily and Lynn's. Mm-hmm. We also have one, I would call it major surrogacy case, which I handled in our Supreme Court and called for the enforceability of surrogacy contracts. I am a father of 4, a grandfather now of 12, and have been doing surrogacy contracts then since the mid-90s. I'm happy to be in Quad A. I enjoy working with my other fellows that are on the screen with you. We're a very convivial, friendly group and can get to the conclusion on agreements rather well. So we invite you to work with any one of us.
Awesome. And Teresa.
Hi, everybody. I am Teresa Roeder. I practice in Madison, Wisconsin. That's the capital right behind me. Mm-hmm. I am at the DeWitt Law Firm and have been a fellow in the Academy of Adoption and Assisted Reproduction Attorneys since 2001. I have been doing surrogacy work probably for the last 20 years. I haven't really done the math, but that feels about right. And at that time, we did, a few contracts a year and a few babies a year. But now I would say that the majority of my practice is assisting people in bringing children into their family. And I probably help at least 100 babies a year come into this world. And we have a really great practice here in the state of Wisconsin. As Steve said and Emily said, we all really like working together and we like helping you build your family.
Great. Chrislyn.
So my name is Chrislyn Holliday. I'm an attorney in Brookfield, Wisconsin, which is just outside of Milwaukee. And I've been practicing for about 24 years, and I've been doing surrogacy and art matters for about 14 to 15 years. I'd have to go back and check the exact amount. But I actually started doing surrogacy because my good friend Lynn Bodie actually introduced me to this lovely area of the law. So I'm forever grateful for Lynn's involvement and for her bringing me in. And then I actually was doing surrogacy for several years. And then Teresa Roeder said, you really should go to an Academy event and just come to a conference in Chicago. And wouldn't that be nice? And it was a great idea. I've really enjoyed being involved in the Academy. I became a fellow in 2019 in Quad A. And Steve Hayes, also an important player here. I have known Steve since the summer between college and law school, which for me was 1994 is when I met Steve Hayes. as a young and totally inexperienced person in the law world. And I've known Steve ever since and have done lots of different cases with Steve, including art and non-art cases. And I've always enjoyed having Steve, Teresa, and Lynn on all my cases. And Emily is a lovely human who I just haven't had any cases with, but she is marvelous. And I hope I have a case with you soon. So as Steve said, I really do enjoy working with this group of attorneys, and no matter who a client is working with in this group, you will be well served. So that's my view on that. And in terms of personal information, I am married. I have 2 children, a daughter who is a teenage girl, and you may infer from that what you wish. And a son who is 11, and he's got special needs, and he's nonverbal and really complicated, but he is a lovely human too. So so that's sort of my personal background. And I'm a solo practitioner. I'm on my own. I've got an assistant, and I've got a paralegal who I work with on a contract basis as well, but I'm a smaller operation than a lot of these other folks.
Great. Lynn, your turn.
Thank you. I'm Lynn Bodie. I'm practicing in Madison, Wisconsin. Emily is my partner. I haven't thought of her as a baby lawyer for a very long time. I've been practicing almost as long as Steve. It's over 30 years. Well, wait a minute. Yeah, it's over, we'll just say it's over 30 years. I've been a fellow in the Academy since 1997. And I was reminded watching this group talk that Steve, Emily, and I can't remember if Teresa, have all been vice presidents of the Academy. Teresa, were you?
Yeah.
That's true.
So four out of the 5 of us, I mean, we've all been board members, but we've also all been vice presidents. And I'm gonna assume that we have all declined the offer to be president. So it is a very fun group, and Steve mentioned, I think that we, because we are so collegial, we turn contracts around very quickly and amicably. And I like to say that one of my goals in working on a contract is for the parties to still be friends at the end of the pregnancy. And I think we do a really, really good job of accomplishing that. I started out practice as an insurance defense lawyer, so that was a completely different world. I pivoted into contested adoption and then surrogacy fairly quickly. And I really like it, but I am grateful that I have the litigation skills that help keep me out of litigation. It did also give me the opportunity to be involved with a Supreme Court case in Wisconsin that established a lot about health insurance coverage for surrogates, where I acted as the Office of the Insurance Commissioner's expert witness on surrogacy in that case, known as Mercy Care. Everybody here knows about it. So that's my working world. I was trying to think of something I do that's not work, and there's a lot of things now that I think about it. I have two boys who are more or less grown. My husband's recently retired, so I see more of him, which is really nice. I play the violin. That might be a little known fact. I play competently, maybe we should say. I really like fitness. So I like to run, I like yoga, I like to dance, I like to lift weights. I get a little antsy if I'm not moving. So that takes up actually a lot of time, because when I run, I'm very slow. It takes me a while.
All right, team. So let's talk about Wisconsin in general terms. So the public's thinking, do I stay away from Wisconsin? Do I go to Wisconsin? Is it a great state for this? Is it a problematic state? What's your answer?
It's a great state for
Yes.
surrogacy.
Mhm.
We are very friendly to surrogacy, and even though we don't have a statute that specifically says this is how you do surrogacy, as Mr. Hayes talked about, we have this case from the Wisconsin Supreme Court that says that contracts are valid enforceable agreements. They are not against public policy, that unless there's some sort of misrepresentation, fraud, or coercion, that the contract will be upheld. And it was decided very much on business terms, that it is a contract between consenting adults agreeing to do something amazing for somebody else.
So Emily, for the LGBT community, is it a go-to state?
Yes, absolutely. We do many same-sex couple intended parent surrogacies. I think that just in general, Wisconsin, we are a kind people. I think that's one of the reasons why, especially the Wisconsin surrogates we meet, I'm sure everybody thinks that of their surrogate clients, but with the law, you know, being unregulated, not having a 5-page statute on surrogacy allows us to be more adaptable with the families that come to us. So same sex, single parent, no genetic connection, like all of those different components of the intended family, we can be more creative with that because we don't have as much regulation.
So for the parentage process, because I think in that very initial trying to look at a state, a lot of intended parents say, how hard is it? Is it a pre-birth? Is it a post-birth? And without getting too technical, because they really should call you for the details, right, everybody? But
Yes.
generically, what is it like?
Well, we can get pre-birth orders from most courts, and most courts are pretty prompt in setting dates when you send the material in there, with maybe one exception. Milwaukee, which is where I am in part. But most courts are accommodating when you send in papers for a pre-birth hearing. We discuss with our clients, and all of us do this, whether they want a pre-birth or a post-birth order. If they get a post-birth order, we can give them a custodial power of attorney that gives them authority over the child until they get a final order. So the subject of pre-birth and post-birth orders it's not a problem area for us in Wisconsin. So we do the parentage agreement. Once we have everybody's signatures and a legal clearance letter goes to the clinic, we step out while the medical part of it takes place. And then usually 4 or 5 months into the pregnancy, we discuss with our other counsel and with our clients whether they want to pursue a pre-birth order. I would say most of my clients prefer a pre-birth order process. Not all do, so we'll do it either way.
So Lynn and Chrislyn, how does genetics play a role in Wisconsin? Do both intended parents need to be genetically related to the baby? One, none?
I mean, it's important because we include the information about genetics in our submissions to the court, but courts, I don't want to say they don't care, because they care very much and they want this to work for people. The judges are really excited about these cases, to be honest, but it does not matter if the intended parents are genetically related to the child or not. They can both be, one of them can be, they can be neither of them genetically related to the child. I've done cases where I have a single parent who's not genetically related to the child. And as long as we make the proper legal arguments, which we do, then the court can find parentage in any of those people.
Great. And Chrislyn, real quick, for parents that are coming from countries where it's important for them to have a second parent adoption after the fact, is that something that's available in Wisconsin?
It is available in Wisconsin. I have not had to do one of those in a very long time. I don't know if anybody else here has had to do one recently, but I have not had to do that. I had a French case where we had to do that, but that was years ago, and that I don't believe that that's necessary anymore for France. But I think that it's not something that should be a bar to people of international origin. I think that when we have that call with the client, we can each of us lay out what we know about the country. And quite frankly, if I don't know the answer, I will tell the client, I don't know the answer right now, but I will get the answer for you so you can make an informed choice about what you need to do moving forward for your family. So I think that that's really important too. In my practice, I have full and complete understanding of the fact that I don't know everything off the top of my head. And if I don't know, I will be honest with the client and say, look, I don't know the answer. I'm going to have to check. And quite frankly, if I don't know the answer, the first people I'm going to reach out to are everybody on this call. So
Okay, great. For the public, Wisconsin's a go-to place. Don't rule it out ever. And if you are going to look at the state, look at talk to these professionals early, not late in your process. And in order to get a hold of anybody that's on this video right now, you can go to the Academy website. It is adoptionart.org and org. And all of their information, we have a directory that's state by state, and please get a hold of them for additional information for Wisconsin. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.